Mario Lamarre, Teen Director at the Boys and Girls Club of Brockton, and I'm Rockin Wit McGriff.
The block hot, the block hot, the block hot, the block hot. Hey, hey. I got the block hot.
You don't even know what you're doing.
Yo, who's TV?
You're just spamming it, bro. You don't even know what. Look at you. Look at you.
Oh, GLC, be honest? Bro.
I got hired at the Boys and Girls Club of Brockton by committing to 150 community service hours in order to graduate Trinity Catholic. It was mandatory. So I couldn't really find any locations in Boston that I could like commit to with their hours. But at the same time, I didn't feel really comfortable with certain places. So we've had an opportunity. We reached out to Brockton when some of my family members started moving out here. And I found the Boys and Girls Club. I went there the first day for an interview. I loved everything about it, and the rest became history. Came here 14 years ago, and I never left.
I called him! I knew he was missing. Damn!
What? You didn't even mean to do that. You didn't even mean to do that. You just.
The building was very interesting. There was a lot of things that, I mean, for inner city kids, I felt like that's what people thought was supposed to be the right environment that we should be grateful for. But I always seen the bigger picture of things where I felt like if I seen this rich kid on TV from Beverly Hills and see what they experience, I felt like that our kids should experience that as well. So it wasn't the best of things, but I feel like the people that worked here made it feel like a great place to be. We had Rudy Cantave. He was responsible for the gymnasium. He was my first boss. We had Tawana Withers, who was an incredible mother, and she kind of taught me so many things as far as my first few years on how to deal with kids and just patience. Cliff Dartnov, he worked in the teen center with Tom, one of my favorite guys in the world, Sharon Conan, and like I said, all of them produced a piece to help me elevate my game and become who I am today.
Yo, what kind of camera is that?
Get dirty, get dirty. Hot boy.
What is this game? What is this game?
You gotta go with my father. My father, he was always a huge influence for me. Couldn't make it to the games and things like that, but he showed me life in a different sense where a lot of times he didn't have time to do those things because he was working so much to make sure that I could go to a Catholic school for my high school career and other things like that. So I really look up to him and I appreciate him more from the stance of being an adult now that he sacrificed a lot for me. My mother, of course, she was always strong. Times weren't always great, and she never buckled. And I was in a situation where I thought that she would or she should, and she never let me know that she was struggling. I was just a very clever kid, but I kind of respect that more now because she kind of made sure that any obstacles that I didn't have to experience, I didn't. And I love her and appreciate her for that. But John Booten, great mentor of mine. He taught me a lot. John Booten used to work at the Boys and Girls, he used to work at Brockton High School as the athletic director. And John has taught me a lot about how I can become better each day and to believe in myself. A lot of times I'm too humbling, if that makes any sense. So I kind of neglect anything that I do and say, oh, whatever. I just see it as breathing. And he said, you can't keep doing that because a lot of people are impressed with what you're doing, but they're also affected and influenced by it. So he kind of opened my eyes from that aspect.
Games in the playoffs. I said that. You can play jump force. In the playoffs. They play jump force every day, though. Nah, they play jump force every day. This is the one day that we don't have to play. Why? We're playing jump force every day. Everybody wants to play. Why you actually play first? After the ball first, you play jump force. What's that jump force now? Nah, call that.
So you two can play next, and then after that, jump force. Hold on,
they play jump force every day. Jump force every day. Every other day they play two. What is a jump force? All you see there is jump force. 749.
Yeah, might as well just, we're going to keep it 2K today. It's 723. It's 723. After one more game, it's going to be like 740, and then we're going to have to do cleanup anyway, so you don't want to...
Yo, go about the toast. Are you doing this just for go?
Responsibility. The definition of responsibility to me, what it means to me, is taking an opportunity to welcome an obstacle and understand that with that obstacle, if you take the wrong path or if you fail to defeat it or accomplish what's needed, I feel like that's responsibility. When people have kids, a lot of times some people don't plan to have kids, but they take the responsibility to do so, knowing that it's going to be a challenge of some sort that's going to challenge them within to adapt to certain situations that they're not prepped for, and they still step up to the plate. Like good fathers and good mothers and good parents in general, they are very responsible. That's a term that's usually used towards that. Responsibility is a very strong term for me, but I more so use it as a welcome term where I want that responsibility. And I feel like those are the people in the world that thrive more than anybody else.
Said who's ready to play golf? So, we're going to be naming who's playing on this side first.
Sorry about that. And shout out to Jay Miller. My apologies. Jay Miller was one of my other heroes. He was the executive director at that time at the Boys and Girls Club when I was hired. And Jay definitely, well, Sue was, but then Jay kind of took it over. But Jay was like a mentor for me within this building, and he taught me a lot. And it was just, he seen a black kid from an inner city, and he treated me like his own son. And I was not accustomed to somebody from a different ethnicity doing that. So that was very powerful, and it kind of encouraged me to keep going on. It's funny, right? I had the dream of the NBA, like everybody in projects or hood growing up from that area, or just in the city in general, or music, or definitely art. I always wanted to be an actor. I just sometimes I lived in my mind at times when you hear gunshots out your windows and other things like that. So I wanted to basically be somebody else at times, and being able to do that, I seen acting allowed that. And I wasn't a shy person. So those are the main things that were kind of like my dreams. But then, like I said, world works in mysterious ways. I had to do community service in order to graduate high school. I didn't intend to do that, and it led me here. My encounter here is what kind of made me thrive and say, man, I don't know if I want to be no community leader, but I definitely want to help people that can't help themselves, especially youth. And I seen that my first year here, and it was like, I got to do it. I said, I got to do it. I think it's appreciation. I think a lot of times in society, humans naturally submit to playing the victim role because it takes responsibility off their shoulders, but it also puts them in a situation that if they fail, no one's gonna really care. I wanted to kind of step into that limelight and hold myself accountable because I knew that I was playing with other people's kids. I was working with other people's kids. I was working with their minds and their beliefs. And I wanted to challenge myself to be creative more and more each second, each day, each year, to make sure that with me challenging myself, that I would have to keep elevating my game. And it involved kids. I wanted these parents to know for the 14 years I was working here, yeah, I'm not these kids' parents, but you probably think I would be. It was just based off the passion that I have for them and the consistency I want to continue to have for them, whether it was through programming, activity, or just their livelihood of them, seeing them being raised through school and being raised with their characteristics and choices that they decide to do. I wanted that. And when I connected with parents and I seen their reaction that they seen at that time, it was a struggling situation that males didn't want to volunteer at that time a lot back in 2005. So when they seen this black male who's from a community that's similar to their kids, willing to step up to the plate and challenge himself to the point where I didn't have to, I think that's where the passion came from. I needed to be great for this community. I needed to be great for kids, because not all our kids are blessed with both parents. They come from backgrounds of foster care. They come from backgrounds where their parents didn't make the best decisions in the world, and those kids have to deal with that struggle. I wanted to be that bulletproof vest. I had to. And I felt like doing so and having that mindset from the start allowed kids to, quote unquote, make it out of Brockton. And what I mean by that is not actually physically out of Brockton, but out of that mentality that they felt like they couldn't achieve what they wanted to be. And a lot of kids come back every time and they show me that they did.
Watch that camera.
Right. The most satisfying part of working here is seeing the results. Seeing these kids come back with 4-year degrees. Seeing these kids come back getting married and having kids and entrusting me with their kids. Seeing how the community connects when we all decide to partner up for certain programs, activities, or events. The most satisfying thing for me is seeing the consistency that at that very moment that they get to experience in their life. I like that. I like that because sometimes it's very difficult. The world throws so much challenges to people that consistency seems to be an issue in certain people's lives. When we can help provide that, when I can help provide that, I want someone to smile every time they think of me. I want someone to know that if I see them walking down the street, I'm not gonna be the guy that just continues to drive in the rain. I'm gonna stop the car and ask them where they're going, and by any means, I'm gonna get them there and make sure that they're dry while getting there. And I don't know, I'll be honest with you, I always ask myself that, and especially when I have my own kid, and I have no idea why I'm so passionate about it, but I honestly think, like I said, it's just seeing others strive when they believe that they couldn't. I feel like a ball player now. Like I said, I feel like Kobe, I feel like that, and I don't know. It's a good feeling.
We are in the final. Art Cartel versus Team BTL. Let's do something. Art Cartel, this will be your side. BTL, this will be your side. But everybody's in this game. Pick your side.
Yeah, when you have the opportunity to help these kids, they need to be able to let you in so you can do so. So what I did is I realized that there was a factor that I had to basically see and admit to and know that it could be a possible obstacle, which was these kids don't know me. They already have their own personal issues where it's a difficult time for them to trust anyone. So what can I do? Well, one thing is I kind of look like them. 2, I'm not faking the funk. I can come here with a master's degree, a PhD, and so on and so forth, but it doesn't absolutely mean anything when it comes to direct care with inner city kids. Especially a lot of times with these kids, one strike, you're out. If they feel like there's a hidden agenda, if they feel like you genuinely don't care for what they're trying to say or trying to be, it's over. They're not gonna relate to you nor even respond to you in any sense. So my agenda every time with kids is to make sure I put that wall down. I want them to put their wall down so they let me in. And the moment that they do, I am genuine with what they say. I am genuine with what they love. And I kind of teach myself, even when I'm not around them, about that particular subject just because that kid enjoyed it. And then after I do that, that's when the relationship is built. And when the relationship is built, what ends up happening is that these kids aren't afraid of Mario. They're afraid to disappoint me. And when you see all these adults, whether it's in the school system or after school program, I feel like sometimes they think just they don't mean to provide fear towards these kids to make them listen and things like that, but it's a very disciplinary atmosphere. That's the train of thought that every organization kind of wants, to ensure that kids don't overstep their boundaries. I realized something. Respect gets you more than fear. Respect gets you more than fear. When kids respect you, they're afraid of disappointing you. When kids fear you, they'll submit to your discipline. They'll submit to your discipline, and then 2 weeks later, they're doing the same thing again. When they're afraid to disappoint you, you'll see change in that child way sooner. You'll see consistency in that child way sooner. And that's what people need to understand. And sometimes I feel like a lot of people don't have patience, even people that work with youth. And I feel like that's an issue with me. And that's what I'm trying to help others see from my standpoint, as well as the success rate of where I am and how I've been successful. It's not luck. It was the willingness to adapt to our kids first and then provide the information to them.
As one. Unified, baby.
There were plenty. There were a few kids that I was like, my gosh, like, this kid's angry. And I'm happy I encountered some of those kids, because when I encountered some of those kids, it taught me to adapt. I realized that not the same curriculum, not the same train of thought will work with every child. So when I encountered those kids, I seen that I know these 20 kids wanted me to do this with them. But I said, you know what, I'm gonna put a staff towards that, and I'm gonna focus on that one kid. And it's not favoritism, it's being realistic. Sometimes people have to understand you have to be realistic to get real results. And when I see those kids that needed it more in Brockton, it's not that I grew closer to them, but I naturally had to, because it seems like they were missing more in their life than the other 20 kids were. So a lot of them definitely challenged me and made me change. I wasn't perfect when I first started here. I was 18 years old. There was a lot of growing up I had to do, but I had to do it fast. I took this job so serious. You wasn't seeing me at clubs posting pictures with bottles before I go out like everybody else. Like, as much as I wanted to do that and things like that, when I got older, around the 20s, I was like, no, this isn't me. Just because I was worried about, what if this kid sees it? And nobody in that age usually thinks in that sense, especially as much as I was going out, but I just felt like I couldn't be a hypocrite with what I was trying to get these kids to believe in, what I was trying to get them to do. So.
This was lit.
We had a lot of fun. We was lit.
I got out a couple of times, but I got back in. It was so fun.
It's like you throw the balls, and it's like I got hit. Told me to get the wrapper, and then he just hit me. And then I got so mad, and then I just came back in again. I was like, am I cheating or something? I hit him back, started laughing. It was funny.
Man, it's great. And I'll tell you right now, the first thing I feel is old. I feel old. But it's a crazy feeling, because it just, honestly, it adds more fuel. When you see that, it's just like, okay, I think I could do another 14 years. I think I could do another 20 years. But don't you want to make more money? Don't you want to do this? You'll hear that criticism from so many different people, but I kind of block that out, because I always say there's a way. And I'm telling you, I feel like I'm here for this reason. I feel it in my bone. When you hear these stories about Martin Luther King and why he did things, Malcolm X, as well as these other people, I'm not comparing myself to them by any means, but I feel like in life right now, I got lucky enough to figure it out. When they say, what do people want out of life? What's the purpose of it? I feel like it can't be dumbed down so much in that question, because I feel like there's so many different answers. based off of encounters as well as people decision making and how their mentality is. And I feel like I was just lucky to realize I'm here for people. I'm here for kids. I'm here to not only lead, I'm here for the tough times. I'm here to deal with problems or issues or obstacles that others don't want to deal with. And I'm ready. At times, am I a little hesitant and things like that? Yeah, in the past, but now it just comes out naturally. I have to care for others. That's why I'm here. And it just comes out, like I said, naturally. And when I see these people come back, it just shows me that it's working.
Yet again, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Like I said, there's going to be 2-minute time limit between the draft to make sure gets picked. You get 2 minutes to choose who you want to pick. After they get picked, they take the photos here. Once they take the photos here, then we start that 2 minutes for the next team.
They have a chance to win the chip. Loses the ball. Interception. 3. Oh! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! It's good! It's good!
The Summer Hoop League program I created in 2014. It was definitely innovative in taking a chance. My whole purpose behind it was, yet again, working with kids so much, I started kind of dissecting their way of thinking. And with dissecting their way of thinking, I wanted to kind of, like I said, yet again, adapt to what they would react to. So when I created the Brockton Summer Hoop League, the intent behind it was to give children challenges that they didn't feel like they could find. And what I mean by that is, if I'm a young 15-year-old basketball player and I see these 20-year-old basketball players that play for college, that are in the pros and other things like that, I want to compete with them. But realistically, I'm never going to have that opportunity because 1, they're probably really busy. That's why they're where they're at. 2, I'm just probably, people are going to say I'm too small or I'm not physically strong enough, and I'm not going to have the opportunity to show them that I'm mentally strong enough. So I wanted to give them a challenge outside of AAU and people their age group. I wanted to give them a challenge where they didn't have to pay for anything. I would fundraise all the money and they would have the best competition that they could possibly have at that age in their life. So with the Brockton Summer Hoop League, I created that for that aspect, but the main one was for mentoring. Not only would I make them play side by side with these great players and also play against them, but they would have mentors. The mentors would be college players from Division 1, 2, and 3, and overseas players. The reason why is I wasn't gonna just give them a mentor to give them a mentor. That's great and all, but like I said, from now on, I want the best for our inner city. I want the best for Brockton. So I said, I wanna give them mentors that are gonna relate to them mentally, physically, being on certain diets, and so on and so forth, and they came from the same community. So I reached out to college players, I reached out to overseas professional players, and I said, hey, you're from here. I want you to give back, but I'm gonna promise you good competition and give you an opportunity to affect another person's life. They said, this is weird, this is different. The whole system was different. And I said, it is, but it's gonna be worth it. So we created a structure where they would be playing 2 games a week so they can encounter those kids that are gonna be mentoring, which is 18 and under. 18 unders would be mentees, and anybody over 19 would usually be the mentor. Mentors would be invited only. You couldn't come apply or anything like that. Of course, I was holding interviews after the first year, but I would handpick the mentors to ensure that the same way I'm passionate, I should be able to read the individuals that I'm interviewing, that they have the capabilities of being passionate as well. So we ended up doing that, and these guys are getting partnered up with guys that are very good at basketball. So now they're understanding what they have to do to get to that position. Those individuals are where they want to be in 4 years, 5 years. So it was a no-brainer. It expanded to the point where we were getting so many people who wanted to be mentors / players, we had to add an interview process to give everybody a fair chance. And I feel like it's elevated every single year. I feel like now we had things where I could just go find anybody who had good character the first year, but now we're holding people accountable. You had to go to school the semester of September or January before the summer, at least 1 semester. You have to work in the school system can be another option. And not everyone has to, I'm just throwing different options out. you had to have graduated a 4-year college, things like that. And now we're getting quality on paper, but we're also getting quality from individuals from the city for our kids. We're giving them the best quality mentors that make sense. It makes sense. And I can't stress that enough, that there's all these mentoring programs and things like that, but it's not gonna be as effective unless it makes sense. And Brockton Summer Hoop League was created, and we're going on our 6th year. And I think we're doing a great job. I have a great team. It's not only me anymore. I got a great group of guys that are also willing to commit, and we're all in it together. It's not my Brockton Summer Hoop League anymore. It's our Brockton Summer Hoop League. So how it works is, with the first pick, it's gonna be Authentic SDJ. Authentic SDJ, we're gonna let you take your time. We're gonna put the music on, and we're gonna start it up. If you have any questions, just let me know. And you're gonna come up here and we're gonna make that announcement. Authentic SDJ goes with Akeem Williams. Akeem Williams with the first pick. He's smart. The Champion City mentoring goes with Kwame Thompson, Zeke, who else? Rondell and Sean Yard. Rondell and Sean Yard. That is the second pick. Woo! All right, you gotta go take that photo. On. Oh yeah, Marcus Azer. Oh my gosh, I went to a few Brockton High games his senior year, and Marcus was having a good season, but I felt like Marcus was missing that one killer instinct. And in the summer, after his senior year, Marcus took over a team with great players of high college, Division III colleges, Division I colleges, and he took control. And seeing that was absolutely amazing. And seeing how aggressive he was going against Division I point guards as well as other people when he was still not even a freshman yet. Marcus showed me the next year at UMass Dartmouth that it transitioned. And he had an incredible freshman year at UMass Dartmouth, and I seen it develop right before my eyes when he took control of the Summer League at such a young age. And it was beautiful to see that. Marcus started years before that, and at times, yes, he wasn't getting enough playing time that he thought he should have got, but that's just the realistic politics of any basketball team or league. You gotta prove yourself. If there's guys that are already proving themselves and they're either bigger, taller, or just naturally better, and Marcus didn't stray away. He came back every summer, and it was Marcus's team last year, and it was amazing to see. But I've seen a lot of people like that. I've seen a lot of people grow mentally where people would automatically judge them in this sense, like, oh, this person's not a good person, or they're always angry or things like that. And I've seen that they stepped up in this program as mentors, and they were the best mentor one year. I've seen different stories like that, and you're just seeing that the consistency kept happening each year. It was always a new story, a new beautiful story of people actually taking this opportunity serious and becoming greater as a player, as a person, mentees, mentors, and even the city backing it. Even people coming in and saying, Mario, we want to donate money for this program. It opened my eyes that we got something great, and I had to make sure it doesn't die out. With the third pick of the 2019 Summer Hoop League Draft, Hurtin' Feelings is going to go with Keon Armstrong, Shane Coleman, Dimitri St. Louis, and Carl Joseph.
It's called Unfinished Business, actually. Unfinished Business. You gotta bust it.
Congratulations. Ant's going to take that photo, boy. Y'all better win this shit, man. Dimitri. With the fourth pick of the Summer Hoop League Draft 2019, Lab is going to go with Garrison Duvivier, John Duvivier, Chris Hudson, and Jordan Klein. That is a stacked squad. Y'all better win the shit for them disrespecting y'all. Fourth? Oh, they gonna learn today. Yeah, so Pitbull has a school located in Orlando, Florida, and it's, I think, for 6th to 8th graders. And the curriculum is focused on getting kids prepared for professions that involve sports. And when I seen that, I said, do we have anything in here that we can provide for the community where kids don't take any time off school? So when the summer comes, nice try. When the summer comes, you're gonna be right back to the school system or structure, but to make it fun. So when I thought about that, I said, I pitched to the Boys and Girls Club of Brockton, we need to have a hoop academy. where for 45 minutes, kids would be in a classroom and then they'd be training for an hour. And it would just happen. We would provide lunch and it would be an 8 to 7 hour day. And I didn't really see that anywhere here where it was happening throughout the whole summer and it was gonna be consistent. So with that being said, I felt like the Hoop Academy would be a brand new stepping stone that would welcome and encourage people to come to Brockton from surrounding cities, and just give them an opportunity to experience something that's not provided somewhere else. So giving this inner city even more value than it already has, and making people understand that it doesn't matter where it's being taken place or where it's happening. It matters of who's running it. It matters, yet again, I love using that word structure, but it matters the effort. And when people believe in something so much, it starts to make other people believe it as well. And I really think Hoop Academy is not only gonna teach the kids more about public speaking, their vocabulary is gonna definitely get better, not only towards the sport of basketball, but just everyday life. Healthy lifestyles, and just the science of the body. At a young age, I hated science, but then again, I don't understand how important science is to know. It is, especially if you want to be great, because then you know you're not wasting your time with what you choose to work on. And I believe the science of the body is going to be something great that they learn. I want kids to look at the camera and be confident when they speak, when a question is asked to them. I want them to look at individuals in the eye. And that is something big that I feel like we do not focus on in inner cities enough. Because, like I said, that first time I experience you, the first time we meet, I'm always gonna remember. And if you do a great job and you show that confidence from the start, I guarantee you're gonna be asked to meet again.
With the 5th pick, Aaron, Calixi, Savon, Houston, Marquise Weaver, and Julian. Clap it up, clap it up. Go ahead. Say, after the season's done, let me get that yellow jersey. That's a big squad. With the 6th pick of the 2019 Summer Hoop League Draft, D'Agostino Insurance is gonna go with Jonathan Joseph, Mo Molian, Mike Jones, and Tyree Robinson. Good job. Go take that photo, Coach.
Mario, he's like a big brother to me.
Mario's like uncle to me.
You're like an uncle to me.
Like a big brother to me.
He's like a father to me.
Mario's been here for about 14 years.
Thank you, Mario, for helping me become a better basketball player and a better person overall.
If it wasn't for you, I would not be doing what I'm doing right now with these kids doing exactly what you did for them. Every day he comes in here, he is excited to be here, ready to make an impact on our kids' lives.
He has this ability to get along with everybody.
He's always funny, always got my back.
He's always there for me, he's nice.
He definitely helped me realize what was good and what I shouldn't do, what should do.
And he can just think of something in his head just like that, and then he can put it into implementation, and the kids have a blast, they're engaged, they're involved. He's just someone you want to be around.
He's really nice to everybody, and he cares about everybody he meets.
Thanks, Mario, for everything you have done for me. Being here, it means a lot to me.
He has similar stories to some of them, which is so important for them to be able to relate to a positive male role model, and he's really been the essence of that.
He's helped me with my dreams and my accomplishments.
I feel like Mario is the type of person who always puts the kids first.
Mario has been a positive impact on my life as a role model.
He's probably the best staff here. No offense.
It was really nice to meet somebody like Mario, somebody who can inspire me.
Oh, so there are petitions online, other things like that, asking for people to vote for me. But what it is the YDP MVP award. It's a National Boys and Girls Club award where I had no clue I was nominated for. Funny story is, someone who works with AmeriCorps named Lauren Stubbs. She basically had me thinking that we were doing something involving the website, and for about a few weeks straight she was tricking me, and she had my members being interviewed about me and what they felt about me to submit so we could be nominated for this award. I had no idea about this, and come to find out, they put me in a room and they all announced, hey, you're a finalist. I said, for what? And they said, for the YDP MVP award for the National Boys and Girls Club of America. I said, whoa. I said, no way. And they said, yeah, we want to show you the video. So Lauren had to do, I believe, a 500-word essay, and she had to do a 2-minute video to submit it and to even make me a candidate. And she did such a great job to the point where I became a finalist. I got to see the video, and it was different. It was crazy. Like, to see what these kids had to say about me, it was unbelievable. I couldn't even put it into words because I kind of got caught off guard, but it was just like how genuine they were. Things that they brought up that I completely forgot about, because when I'm in the zone, I'm in the zone. I just want to make sure they have the best experience. It was interesting. I was appreciative. I was shocked, but man, I felt so good that I didn't remember the last time I felt that good. I had the birth of my child. I asked my fiance to marry me, and I'm comparing just watching that video to certain things like that to show how much I loved it, and I appreciate them for that so much. In the video, I appreciate everybody who worked on it, and yeah, I'm a finalist, so everybody knows that if we win, we receive $10,000 for our program. The $10,000 is not even anything I really care about, to be honest with you, just being honest. It's winning that. Brockton's #1 in the country. Out of all the cities, out of all the states, we are #1 in the country. Not me, Brockton, because I'm not me if it wasn't for the city. We're #1. And that feeling feels so great, because now maybe it'll open individuals' eyes that there are diamonds in the rough. Now we need to stop calling it the rough and call it what it should be, and that's just an incredible community, a incredible city, an incredible everything. Brockton is beautiful, and there's different ways that people have to see Brockton, and I don't feel like we produce enough in the world that people can see all the great things happening here. And by winning this award, I will, even after if I win it, I'm gonna only use this as a stepping stone to make and encourage people to come bring more to Brockton, invest more in Brockton, so we can get more things like this under our belts, more national awards like this under our belts, because we have the most incredible people, and we can make it happen. I want to thank my family. I want to thank my friends. I want to thank the Haitian community. Like I said, no, I'm just joking. I really do. I really want to thank everyone that believed in me, everyone that had a hand in molding me, my way of thinking, my train of thought, my experiences in life. I appreciate you guys so much. My name is Mario Lamarre, and I'm Rockin Wit McGriff.